behind me here.
Okay. All right, we are live. Excited to be on today on the You vs. You show and really understanding the ways that we can really kick our own ass and win. It is Wednesday night, and we have this show every single Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central. And I'm your host. I am the author of the best-selling book, You vs. You, The 12 Ways to Kick Your Own Ass and Win. I'm also the CEO of Inside Out Institute, and I'm excited, obviously, to have our guest on today. Now, we have incredible guests on every single week, but I'm really excited about this guest. She actually has joined our Institute in what we call Phase 2, but what that also really means, it's the home stage. So she has just really done so many amazing things. I wanted to have her get on this show and have her add massive value to each and every one of you. But before we do, Adena, thanks so much for being on. Tell us a little bit about who you are, real briefly, and then I want to dive right into the content that I have prepared to ask you and really interview about today, about dreams and following your dreams, especially in a time like this, with obviously everything that's happening in our world. So thanks so much for being on, and just a little bit of your background, and we'll kind of go from there, if that's cool with you.
Great. Yes. Thank you so much, Coach Todd. I'm so happy to be on this call tonight. I'm super excited. My name is Adena Zender. I go by Amazeballs Adena because I bring it crazy and wild for everybody. Lots of excitement and joy. And I am a mother of 2. I am happily married of 17 years with my husband, and I have been a teacher for about 16 years now. And I am transitioning and now into the coaching inspirational world. And my passion is bringing joy, inspiration, humor, excitement to people's lives and helping them manifest their dreams. So that's just a little bit about me.
That's amazing. So I want to ask you this because a lot of people might not know you that are watching this, but I've seen you and getting to know you in the past 4, 5, 6 weeks. What gives you that attitude that you have every day to not just be in a good mood, but to be in a credible mood every day, that you're really just an encouragement to others? You're not only leading by example, because we see obviously the opposite in our world today. We see people so frustrated, so mad, and they're actually physically taking it out on other people with different riots and stuff. And here we are also in COVID in 2020, but you've just been so uplifting. So where does that power, spirit, source come from for you personally? And have you always been like that? Or did you have a lot of work that you have to like put into yourself on that? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, right now it is kind of a dark time for many people, unfortunately. But I believe in God. I have the Holy Spirit within me, and I have been a positive person most of my life. But I've gone through great trials. I've lost, close family members have died. My father died when I was young. My grandfather and my grandmother. I have had to go through a lot of hard stuff and overcome them and rise above. Yep. And so through those trials, it was as if I was given a light, a torch to share with others, like they can overcome this too. There's going to be hard times, but you can make it through this, and it's not always going to be like that. And I always remember things are a season and a moment in time. They're not forever. So right now, COVID is just a season. This is just happening in a little split second of time, but we're going to get through it. We're all going to overcome this. Right. Yeah.
Very good. So talking about seasons and trials and tribulations, and you said that obviously, you're a Christian, and in the book of James, it talks about count it all joy when we fall into diverse temptations. And really what that means is the trials and tribulations. I think a lot of people are so afraid of trials and tribulations, but there's no growth. And yeah, it kind of sucks going through it. But if we can redefine it, just like my book, You vs. You, and I have a chapter, You versus Your Dreams, and I'll get to that in a second, where we come back to, okay, we're in a battle right now. So let's say, okay, we're in COVID, or there's someone watching this, we're like, okay, I lost my job, or I'm being furloughed, or whatever the situation is. It's that moment where you're like, okay, what can I do about it? And how can I redefine this? Because this could be the greatest opportunity of my life. What does that mean for you? How did you redefine some of those trials and tribulations to go from maybe a tough season to a very harvest season where you're really just, things are just really happening and it's just a joyous season of your life?
Great question. So I think that, well, also personal work, I've done a lot of personal on myself, personal development. I'm obsessed. I love your book, which is another sideline of it, but working in myself and on myself on that. But I also know, Todd, that everything is a lesson. And as a teacher, I come from that perspective all the time of like, how can I teach somebody else how to get through this?
Yeah.
And if I can't overcome it myself, that means somebody else can't. And so for me, I'm always like aware of the fact, what can I do to empower somebody else to overcome this particular challenge? And how can I bring a blessing to them? And then when I take my focus off me, Adena, to somebody else, it becomes a blessing because now I'm serving someone and helping them. And then that gets me through the challenge too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what made you want to, like, what are your dreams? Like right now, today's your birthday, by the way. So I'm not going to ask you what your age is, whatever, but it's your birthday and you're taking time, obviously, to do this. And then we're going to do a Zoom here with our Inside Out Institute leaders here in just about 20 minutes. And you're the overcomer of the week. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, like right now, if you don't mind, like what is your dream after, you've had kids, you're married for, 17 years.
Yes.
Do you still have are you living your dream, or is there something you're also chasing because I think we also need to be we need to be content, of course, with what we have, the blessings and all that good stuff. But I think we also need to be chasing things because that's what's going to help us grow and keep us focused on the future. So what's your dream that you have right now?
I love it. Well, my dream is to inspire people. I want to be on stages. I want to be speaking live. I want to help people manifest their dreams. I want to use my voice to empower others. I have big ones. I want to be doing retreats. I've got all these exciting things, and COVID is not going to stop me. I am just learning, growing, moving, experiencing all of this. And I feel like I'm finally in my purpose. And I knew part of my purpose, Todd, was to be a teacher. And that was a beautiful time of my life. But for the last 3 years, I felt a calling on my heart. Like, you have more, your audience is bigger. You have this huge passion. You've got to share your love. You've got to inspire people. You have to bring light to the places of darkness or where people are broken and sad. And so that's what I'm doing. So I feel like I'm just launching in the inspiration superhighway right now and getting into that. So my dreams just keep getting bigger as I'm manifesting one after the other after the other.
Yeah, so let's dive into some really good content, because if I'm watching this is what I need to hear, especially like the past version of me 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So I've had dreams my whole life, but obviously there's a lot of hiccups on that journey. And one of them can be family. One of them can be distractions. One of them can be friends. And I've seen just so many people give up on their dreams like this because they asked their sister. And hey, what do you think of my dream? Hey, they asked their brother. They even asked their parents, hey, what do you think of my dream? Do you think I should do this? Do you think I should really go after my dreams? And like, I don't know about that. And they listen to them. And it's the most crazy, unbelievable thing. And obviously, I could do a whole section on that. But how can you, okay, now let's switch it. Like, you're the coach right now, and you're coaching people that are watching this. How can you coach people that are watching this to be like, look, in the middle of all of the distractions, is the opportunity, and how can we see that this is the greatest time to live as opposed to it's the worst time? So what are your thoughts on that? How to distract yourself from the distractions, still go after your dreams, but even now more than ever?
Okay, that's so great. And I was raised with a very inspiring father, and he always used to say, we're Americans, we have choices, we are never backed up against a wall. You can always choose to move. And then he'd say, if you feel like you're backed up against a wall, you put yourself there. So it's a matter of your decision, you moving forward and hustling. And then I believe too, like, having help, right? So we can't do everything by ourselves. If we could, we would already be doing it, right? So having somebody that can coach you, keep you accountable, push you for that. For me being an Inside Out with you coaching and all these amazing people on our team, I'm so excited because during COVID, I threw my whole exercise program out the window. Our gym closed, so that was it. I was done. And it affected everything: my sleep, my food, my weight, my sluggishness, my energy, all down the toilet, right? So now I'm in a space of somebody pushing me in a good, positive way. And I'm excited because I am starting to rise. I'm doing all this. I'm going for it. So I believe we need to have somebody help us, somebody to push us, right? And then to look at this as an opportunity when the world sees this as bad, when the world thinks, oh my gosh, online learning is the worst and COVID is the worst, we're all losing jobs. you know what? This is an opportunity for us to rise above. This is for us to see the beauty. And then when we start finding those little gorgeous moments in those days, little beauties around what we're experiencing, it's so much better. And we can see the joy in it. And then it changes your spirit, right? You get jazzed up and you're like, no, I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, when it comes to coaching, I've been a coach for like almost 20 years, but I've also had a coach myself for about 14 or 15 years. And maybe in the very beginning, I maybe thought maybe a coach is expensive, or only the rich. It's kind of like having a butler, you know, only like really rich people can have like a butler and a house cleaner and a chef. Yep. One of my dreams is just to have a full-time chef. I don't know where we put him. Maybe he just comes in, but I don't know if does he live with us or not. But
for sure.
I think a lot of people might think coaching is like having like a personal chef, and it's just so expensive. And you know, hey, I could just get free advice. And what's the problem with free advice, in your opinion?
When things are free, people don't want it. They just don't want it. That would be like you with your book. Hey, here's my free copy. Y'all get a free copy. People don't want to read it. When you put money where your mouth is, you are invested in your time and your heart. So when you actually commit to something, a program, a coach, you're going to commit your time, your heart, your energy. So I think investing your money and your time into something is key. And it's not like this extra thing, because again, like I said, like if we could do it, we would, but we aren't doing it. So we need help. And the blessing of a coach is that person like lovingly is going to come in there, like you said, kick their ass, like get them going, go to the gym, wake up early, do your meditation. And you know what? We feel amazing after that. Like we feel so happy, and all those things are connected when we do our KPIs. When somebody else is kicking our butt and we feel good about it, everything changes. And then you can walk right into your purpose, and you don't feel lawless in the day of like, oh my gosh, when's COVID going to end? Like I've been in this house for 20 years.
Exactly.
We're not in this weird zone of like, my life is so horrible. That's over. You know?
Absolutely. Well, you said a lot of good things. And I think a lot of people need to understand, like if you had money, like here's your bank account, and the typical American, let's say, buys a car, but it has to be like, you know, 30,000 or more if they have a family, even if they can't even afford it, because they'll just get it on credit. And then they have to have a house, so they want to upgrade and pay probably a couple thousand or more a month. But when it comes to like an actual like coaching program that they can turn into a lucrative career, they're like, oh, I don't know about that, you know, but they'll buy the $50,000 car that they only really need a $10,000 car. But when it comes to like investing in yourself, because those are all liabilities, houses and cars and even a job, that is a liability. You can't sell your car and make a profit, honestly. I mean, most cases, you can't really sell your house and make a big profit. It's not really an asset. But you can't sell your job, you know, but you can sell a business, and you can, you know, be an entrepreneur and just work from home. I mean, I haven't really left my house in 6 months. It's a little crazy. I wish I could. I wish I go to Italy and Greece, which I will. But at least I could just be here and make it happen all over the world. So tell me a little bit about why this is from your perspective, and why you're not that person, that you understand investing. And that's not just money, but that's time. That's being on this interview. That's being on the Zoom on your birthday here in about 10 minutes. That's pouring into the hearts and spirits of other people. That's investing as well. But what's the return that you're getting? And what's the return you've already received, let's say in the past 4 to 5 weeks?
I could just heart everything you're saying with like pure joy and excitement.
Right.
Really true, right? You know, it's an energy exchange. Like the more love, joy, passion we give out, it comes back to us. And I don't do that because I want it all back or have some kind of arrogance at all. It is just pure, this is who I am. And it's so beautiful because I feel seen now. I feel excited. I am doing what I love. I get to be in this. And I would tell somebody every day, spend money on your personal development. Buy the books that matter. Chase your dream. Follow what your heart says. You know, like that job in that cubicle that person hates and is in forever, that's crazy. They're living a life that they never wanted. No child is, you know, a baby, like little kid, like ballerina girl wants to be like, oh, I can't wait to be in an office 24/7 and be miserable doing something I hate. Nobody wants that. And so many people, Coach Todd, feel like I'm trapped in this. I can only be a mechanic. I can only be a gardener. I can only be, you know, a 7th grade math teacher. And my goal is to help people unlock all their gifts and talents, or at least some of them, and help them understand God gave us so much and he wants us to use so much, and that's all in there and it's waiting to come out. But if we live on the hamster wheel of life and just wake up, go to a job we hate, have dinner, go to bed, do it again, that's all they're going to know. That's all they're going to know.
How do we get out of the zombie? And, to me, it's like a zombie. It's like, they just keep doing the same thing, or the Groundhog Day movie with Bill Murray. It's like they just do the same thing over and over again. It's weird. It's just weird. It's like, I look at people as like, cause sometimes it's just like, it's hard to like even exist in the same world with all these zombies. So how does somebody wake up? I personally feel it really takes an openness of mind. People are so open nowadays about all the other stuff, political, sexual orientation.
Right.
Like we live in a very open-minded world more than ever.
Right.
But why do you think it's even more difficult now to open the minds of people to they don't have to do what they did in 1950?
Yes. Well, focusing on the fact, like I ask people sometimes, like, what would you do if you didn't get paid and you loved it so much? Go do that. If it didn't even matter about you making money at this, go chase that down.
But I got bills, I got a mortgage, I got kids.
No, for sure. I got that, and I hear that excuse, and I understand it. I know. So there's a balance and a transition time. So you stay in that job that's paying the bills and taking care of your family, but you got to put in the personal work. So you're reading that personal development book, you're getting on those calls, you're chasing after what you really want, and then there's going to be a time shift. And then there's going to be enough time that you put the energy, time, and effort into manifesting this other part of you that you can shift out, right? And this is where the confidence will come with that person, because for so long they've just been hidden in this little box, living this little life that they don't like, in this little world that's miserable, you know? And you're helping them come out of that box and go, oh my gosh, the world is so big and beautiful, and like I have so many options. And so there's a time of a shifting, but they're going to have to commit later hours and not watch Netflix and, put the kids to bed early so that they can learn and grow. But that's part of the commitment.
Yeah, you know that saying, scared shitless? Have you ever heard that?
Yes. All day.
So here, we've all been in that moment where maybe, I don't know, there's been a lot of like moments in all of our lives where we're scared shitless. It could be like even like a hurricane or a tornado, or someone died and you go to a funeral. I think funerals are such an incredible perspective shift of just like, wait a minute, like, what does Frank Sinatra say? Live like it's your last day, because one of these days you're going to be right.
Absolutely.
It's true. So it's like the scared shitless thing for me is like, okay, I'm getting older. Time is just, oh my gosh, it goes by so fast, especially if you're in a routine. What happens like when you realize like, oh my gosh, I only have, like, even if you do the marbles, like I talk about in my book, like if you're going to live till 75, you only have 3,900 Saturdays since your birth. 3,900, that's it. So if you go from 0 baby infant to 75 years of age, you just have to get 39 marbles, and you just take one out every Saturday, and then eventually you're 75. So I think people kind of need to use fear in a healthy way on a day-to-day basis, because a lot of times we get sucked into the world, like you said, Netflix and just relaxing and just I'll do it tomorrow, procrastination. So how can somebody actually use being scared, being fearful to their advantage, so that they live a life on purpose before a car accident, before a death, before they're like, oh my God, I get it now. How can we kind of, shake people up to be like, hey, let's not wait till that horrible moment.
Well, and all of that's true. And it reminded me actually of one of the sermons from our pastor years ago in a different church we used to go to. But he said when he'd go do services, funerals, he'd pray for the family. And if the, casket was there or the whatever way, he would ask God, did this person live their purpose? Did they actually come to earth, fulfill their purpose, and then go to heaven? And he said so many times in his soul, he felt empty with the answer. Wow. And that hit me so hard that so many people, Todd, come to this planet. They do not find their purpose. They get stuck in a life, a marriage, a job, a situation that is not who they are. and they live an unfulfilled life. And that's gnarly and heartbreaking to me. And so I feel like those big things can do it, but even just a heart to heart with somebody, like, okay, let's just say now we're 75. Like, we're sitting hanging out on a lanai right now, having a glass of wine. Are you going to tell me that you did everything you wanted in your life? Do you have any regrets? And for that person to be like, yeah, I never got into the career I want. I didn't have the right relationships. Like, those are big things. And I think we can ask people big questions and then push them in that, even without a catastrophic thing. When you look back on your life, are you going to be proud of the choices you made? Granted, we all make mistakes.
And mistakes are good. Mistakes are good as long as you learn from them.
Absolutely. Like, it's a lesson, but we don't want to live a life of mistake or be in a place that wasn't our purpose in the first place for our whole lifetime. That would be awful.
I have visualizations of like God, and basically I know they're probably not true, but like let's say you die and God, you meet God right away, and he's kind of like, really? Like, it's almost like he's just like, welcome, but really that's what you did, And I'm almost like thinking like God's like our homie, he's like really like he's like our Heavenly Father, like he's cool, but it's just like he's like, I don't want him to be like, really? Like you wasted like 25 years. Or even like not Michael Goggins, but David Goggins really talks about this. He says, do you want to go pretend there's like a video camera of you in your life, and there's basically option one, you and God are just chilling in the theater room, and he's just like, wow, congratulations, look what you did, you really leveraged it. Or are you sitting there and be like, man, and I think, I'm watching I'm watching a new show with my wife, and I wouldn't watch it without her. It's called Selling Sunset, and on Netflix. It's kind of like my chill time at the very end of the day.
Yeah.
And these women, they pick every little thing and dramatic. It's all drama. It's all drama about like, it's just, oh my God, you could actually see it happen. They turn this thing into like a massive epic explosion. I don't know if it's for reality TV for effects, but I'm sure it is. But I think that it's an analogy about our life, how we can take, how we focus so much energy on the dumbest, littlest, stupidest things that don't mean anything. So what would be your advice to somebody that maybe is upset right now about they're not getting enough likes on Instagram, or they're upset right now because their girlfriend didn't call them, or didn't think about, or they didn't RSVP for a birthday party? I mean, what do you say to that person in the big picture of things when they're really on their dreams? Like, how can we help that person get back on track?
Great question. And we would talk through it, but I'd remind them how light this is. Hey, how's your health? Do you have COVID? Like, how are your kids doing? Like, you're blessed. You got a home, girl. Like, you're happy marriage. Like, let's go. Let's talk about what really matters here. Like, what is the big picture of life? And it's true, we get caught up in all these things. And as you know, what we focus on manifests. So the more we focus on those little itty bitty annoying things, they become bigger and they're huge. And all of a sudden you're having this massive problem over something that's super small and dumb. And why does it even matter anymore?
Exactly. And I see that a lot with self-sabotage. And it's part of the reason why I wrote the book. It's like you versus you. It's like one of the biggest things that we have to put our armor on is not our enemy, or it's not our friends, or it's not our dream. It's really just ourselves. Just taking little things that might be a little annoying and just blowing them up out of proportion. And then we now are way off track. And a lot of people don't get back on the right track, and therefore they just never get where they want to go. So that's amazing. So last kind of question here. So what does the Inside Out Institute mean to you? I mean, obviously the CEO and founder here with Emmanuel, obviously we're super passionate, but it really, for me, it's so exciting, not just to create something like this, but to have people like yourself, someone that's a proven leader, someone that has been married for 17 years, that has been through a lot of trials and tribulations, that is so driven by self-education and not so much traditional education, because you come from traditional education being a teacher, but now you're really all about self-education. But then you're also creating this abundant career for yourself for years to come. Tell us a little bit about what this means to you, and just seizing that opportunity, whether someone does Inside Out Institute or not, or even if they go get a job at Starbucks. How can someone really seize the opportunity in front of them?
I love this question. This question is awesome. That's a great question. Yeah, no, I am so jazzed, and I have to give a shout out to Sarah Strizzi, my best friend and energy healer, because she's the one who introduced me to this amazing institute that you and Emmanuel started. I am beyond excited because she and I have had dreams for a while about her as an energy healer and me as a leadership coach, and working side by side and helping train, love, heal, and empower people.
Yeah.
It comes inside out. This is exactly what you guys have created. We are just so amazed, and we get to be with a bunch of high vibration, positive people. There is no negative talk in this group. I am just like rejoicing all day long. Nobody's complaining. There is no complaint train in this group. It's elevation, it's positivity, it's uplifting. Everybody is honored. It's truly like coming home. I feel so blessed because I've been praying and asking for these people to come, and we're all here and we are together. And so, and then at the end of our training, you know, the end of the launch into a career. You guys have created a beautiful system and a wonderful institute that we can come out of this, make money doing what we love.
Yeah, we just had we just graduated 6 people, and already 4 of them already got their first clients today. And it's just Wednesday. They just graduated Saturday. So, I mean, they're already getting paid. So it's amazing. And I'm so excited. I mean, I have to pinch myself every day that we're even in this kind of space. But more importantly, pinch myself that we're attracting people like you. And that's
such an honor. Thank you.
And that's so cool. So anyway, with that said, I'll kind of end it here in a second. But I know me and you there's about 100 people waiting for us on the other end here, on the other side. But a couple last questions. Where can people follow you? I know you have an Instagram handle. You're also on Facebook. So Adena Zender here on Facebook. What's your Instagram handle so people can just stay positive following you?
Perfect. Thank you. At Amazeballs Adena.
So and then Amazeballs, A-M-A-Z. Yep. Okay.
B-A-L-S. Adena, A-D-E-N-A.
Awesome. And then where are you from? Did you say where you're from? I just want to make sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't share that. So I am from Santa Barbara, California.
Okay.
But I grew up in Hawaii on the Big Island. So I am a beach girl and love the water and the ocean.
The Big Island.
Awesome, for sure. Yeah.
So
can't wait to go home when COVID's over.
Why would you live in a dump like Santa Barbara? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I know. Totally. 2 horrible places.
Oh, horrible. I mean, my goodness. Yeah. I got family there and Santa Maria and everything. I love Santa Barbara.
Yes, it's right by me. That's so cool.
Yeah. And of course the Big Island. So, well, we really appreciate your energy. And this will also be on my podcast. It's not out there. It's in you this week on Spotify and Apple Play or Google Play and Apple. So I just appreciate you. Any last, just 30-second kind of last, what people can really just take action on coming out of this interview?
I love it. I would tell people don't quit. Just don't quit. COVID, stress, challenges, everything wants you to quit. The world tells you stop, don't do it. I would say just get up every day, hustle, do it. Manifest your dreams and use positive language to speak and manifest things into your life. I will be doing this. I am so excited. This is a beautiful life. I am living the life of my dreams. And before you know it, you're in it. All the stuff you've been saying for all this time, you were in it. You were living it.
That's beautiful.
It's going to happen.
Thank you so much. Well, it's a pleasure. And we'll see you on the Zoom here in a second. But if you guys like this interview, share it. Go ahead and tag people right here on Facebook or wherever you're watching this on this platform. Just tag 2 friends that you know need to hear this, not because you're trying to scold them or anything, but you're trying to add value and maybe just help them on their journey as there's just a lot of great nuggets that were shared today. So Adena, thanks so much for being on the You vs. You show. We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.